Kind of a recap on some things we missed on the unboxing and pretty much the official review of KI Pro. Here's kind of the behind the scenes and a couple other things that I didn't really show in the first video. And for the first time ever, where I actually store all of those Arcade 1-Up boxes. I've kind of hinted at this in the past, but never actually showed it. Before we go up here, I just want to throw out there, there's a lot of boxes up here, and actually there might be one coming out. I can't remember. We'll find out as soon as I climb up here. So every time I pick up an Arcade 1-Up, I head up these stairs, and this is the ultimate destination, the spot for those boxes. And when I sell a cabinet, usually take them out, and if the buyer doesn't want it, I throw it out, but I'm just gonna climb up here to make sure I don't have any boxes of cabinets I no longer have. I'm kind of show firsthand here, very narrow getting through these spots, and I do have a light. And on both sides here are all the Arcade 1-Up boxes. So the countercades that I bought at the end of 2023, sitting on Time Crisis. You can see The Simpsons. There is Golden Axe. Not really sure if that's NFL Blitz down there, but the boxes just keep going back. I kind of keep them in between these rafters. I can only go so far. Like, I can't keep going this direction or I'll fall right through the ceiling. So it kind of stops right here. I have my Shinku Hadouken that I think is going to be the next cabinet getting listed. Not 100% sure on that, but pretty much leaning towards it. There's Fast and Furious. Not sure what this, there's Killer Instinct. So this one's got to come out. So I sold KI, and I couldn't remember if I took KI out. So we're going to take this out and then move the Pro in. Dragon's Lair, NFL Blitz. That NFL Blitz was on the other side. I think this is my iArcade Gold, and then Big Blue. It just, you know, Terminator 2, just kind of a recap. There's Ridge Racer. I don't even have Ridge Racer anymore. That one's got to go. I don't know if I'm going to climb through there. See, sometimes I can stack them, but otherwise they kind of just get their own slot. But I'm going to take KI out, and then I'll just kind of give you a peek on this other side. But X-Men and Golden TXL, you can see Golden TXLs right there. And then X-Men. There's Pac-Man XL. I'm really sure where, oh, X-Men's right here. Yeah, so boxes that will never go anywhere, they'll keep forever. But the rule is that, you know, when you sell something, we have to, you know, we got to get rid of boxes we no longer have. I'll have to work my way over there later for Ridge Racer, but KI's got to go. Funny thing is just on the other side of that wall is, you know, the second story of the house, and, you know, a room over is the actual arcade, and that's where everything, for the most part, sits. There are a couple other spots in the house that I have the Arcade 1-Ups, but yeah, I never wanted to part with the boxes. You never know, you know, as long as I have a spot to keep these, yeah, I'm just going to hold on to them. I'd be breaking my own rule if I didn't take out boxes I no longer have, so I opted to kind of do a little rearranging. We're going to take Ridge Racer out, so this is going in and coming out. How I do it, I'll kind of show when I get down to this point. It's kind of hard to balance on the ladder, but yeah, just basically sliding it down. It's a very tricky process, but you got to kind of balance it out with one hand and keep your balance. You don't want to fall down the stairs. Ridge Racer has been completely removed from our hidden storage. Two come out, one goes in, and I kind of reshuffled, revamped a little bit up there, kind of anticipating, well, stick around, next video. Got an announcement coming. Might need a little bit more room coming up here. Almost didn't fit this one. Now, I do want to mention that every home arcade box I have, because I do have the iArcades up here, and the arcade one-ups, of course. This one might be coming out. I did shuffle this out. Cleaned out this spot. KI Pro is going to go here, and yeah, maybe one more. I could not fit my MVSX box up here. It was too wide to get through this pathway. So everything except the MVSX is stored up here. Not really shuffling around much on this side. Only this other side is kind of easier for me to get at. Plus I have this aisle if I don't have time to go through everything. But we're gonna jam KI Pro right in here. Gosh, no matter how many times I do this, it just never gets any easier. You see those hula hoops over there? They came with the house. Haven't done anything with those. I kind of like leaving. I've got to watch my stuff here, so do the intro upstairs. I have to admit, it's tough to part with things, even though I no longer even have these cabinets, but it's the memories. I bought this from Kohl's, bought this from Best Buy. It was a store pickup. Bought a pair of sunglasses with my Kohl's cash that I never wear unless, of course, I forget my sunglasses, but you know, I tell that story a lot. The one thing we can take from this is, you know, you never know. You can always fit 2 in the car. So it's a good sign. I'm glad I attempted to fit 2 in here. Welcome to today's video as a recording of this Saturday, October 5th, 2024. Kind of doing a home video today. Actually, the monitor doesn't look too bad from this angle. Just kind of wanted to point that out. Wanted to have an arcade one up on in the intro. We were looking at boxes for probably 5-6 minutes. I want to kind of show you behind the scenes. You know, when I bring something in here, what's all involved with the review process, the unboxing. What kind of camera do I use? The lighting. It's not just like doing a regular video for me. There's all this preparation and how everything kind of looks when we're finished. Plus, I didn't get into some of the other items that came along with KI Pro. I'm going to do an additional review on some other things and kind of a hint what's coming out of the arcade, what's going in, and possibly where the next one could go. Now, originally I purchased this camera, which I have only used maybe 2 videos, and I've had it for almost a year, probably 9 months. And with this camera, I would have to hook up a microphone. There's no jack on here like the camera that I use on our everyday videos. I don't have any mic hooked up. Everything is going right through here. And you know, for the most part, this is the camera. Now, why I'm not using this now, it works a little bit differently. The lighting, it's kind of better off being outside, being at stores. But when I'm at home, right now I'm using my phone with the mic, the receiver, so you can hear me. I'm not a big fan of the microphones on the phone, but just to kind of show you, these are my 2 cameras. I don't know what, I guess this is kind of like my backup in case I need. The problem with this is I can't see myself on the screen, unlike the regular one. If I had to do, I can flip this up, and that's how I see myself when I'm doing a video. And you can see that the screen does come up. I can always see myself when I'm facing the camera, or if something's coming up and I say, you know, watch this or wait for this, I can see it happening, and I know it's going to show up in the shot. Unfortunately, my backup camera doesn't have the screen. I went with the lower of the 2 options, and for that part, I would have to kind of just guess where exactly I'm at with the lens facing me. Also, how I upload the videos, I put in my SD card here, plug it in, and then all these are to charge my batteries. But it just doesn't work to do a lot of videos at home if I'm going to be further out, because I don't have a mic hooked up to here. You're not going to be able to hear me, so that's why I would use something like this or the phone. So yeah, just kind of the behind the scenes on all the cameras I use. So for the time being, the cabinet coming out of the arcade, which is just in the room next door, is going to go right in this spot until I completely decide that this is the one that I'm going to sell. I built half a KI in this room. We still have a little bit to go, and we're gonna touch on this in this video. I didn't want to just do a review on the stool, the tin sign, the fatigue mat. I just kind of wanted to show the entire process. There's my G.I. Joe inline riser that I'm debating which cabinet to use that for. I was gonna do the entire review in this room. There's a lot more space to work around, but because KI was so heavy, I didn't want to try to lug it out of here. And for the room next door, this is the actual arcade. And when I'm doing a video in here, I mean, the lighting has to be set. There's so much work, and anyone that's done a video knows everything involved. And it's a tight space. It was tough to put KI Pro together in here. It's tough to put any arcade in here together. I did shuffle these over to give myself as much room on this side for KI as I could. Street Fighter 2 is going to come out. It's going to go in the room next door, and MVSX will shuffle down. KI Pro will go MVSX's, and then Space Invaders, Fast and Furious, Terminator 2 will stay in place. I usually put anything left over, the manual, anything that came with the cabinet, the leftover hardware inside before I fasten the back on, which I haven't done that yet. It's right here. Doing this on a weeknight, ran out of time, had car issues, it was in and out of the shop. So we're gonna complete the rest of KI. I mean, it's pretty much built. We just gotta put the back on, throw some things inside, and then of course, move it to its ultimate destination, put together the stool, kind of review the stool, the fatigue mat, and I think we're gonna hang the tin sign. Including all of these, I do need my screwdriver. There is the certificate 421 of 500 that I'm probably just gonna put in a frame. I don't know if it's a sticky. I'll take it out of here and we'll look at it, but I wanna frame this. You know what, why not? We'll just hang it up. All right, the Certificate of Authenticity Killer Instinct Pro Series Limited Edition 421 of 500. This certifies the authenticity of the limited edition Arcade 1-Up Pro Series Killer Instinct arcade machine, 1994, Microsoft Rare LTD. But everything else, the instruction manual and all the other booklets that came with KI in this packet will go inside the cabinet, and then I'll put the back on. The only instructions I'm going to leave out is the instruction for the stool. I'm gonna need this. I haven't put together the one with the back, so it'll be kind of fun to do this together. I mean, just show little bits and pieces of it, but this is the only thing we're not gonna throw back in there. So I just like to just kind of leave it down there, and you know, when you move it around, which this won't get moved a lot, trust me, it's super heavy. It was just heavy enough just turning it around. You know, the things just kind of stay in place. It's nice that I didn't have to light up the coin doors. You know, they already came that way. So there's no additional cords, any wires, other than just the booklets and a little bit of hardware that we're going to keep on the bottom. Bottom panel is on. We fed the cord through. It's always hard to get that through there. If anyone else ever runs into that, some go in really easy, but when you have to mod yours, when you have to change a marquee or something, to take that out, it's just like it's a thumb buster. And the final look of the PCB, the back of the BOE monitor. I don't foresee myself ever opening this up unless, you know, for some reason they make a bigger monitor, maybe. Who knows? You put a 23-inch, or if I have an issue with the online. So this is pretty much the last look of the backside of KI. So the closest I ever came to buying Shack Jam was secondhand. I actually took a day off of work, and they were asking about $400 at kind of I'm not really sure, let's just call it a vintage store. And it looked okay. I was gonna kind of haggle on the price, but when I turned it around, when I went to the back side, they didn't have these screws. And I asked the representative working behind the counter if, you know, somebody came in and sold it, and he said, no, it's brand new. I assembled it. And I'm thinking, then why didn't you use those screws? So just wanted to kind of point that out. I always think of that now. Whenever I assemble a cabinet, I have to take off the back. The screws that were on the back of Shack Jam actually kept me from buying it. Galaga and Star Wars have been shifted this direction. For the review, they were shifted all the way here. Street Fighter 2 has moved out. MVSX, I kind of changed my mind. I flipped where KI Pro and Space Invaders were gonna go. It's MVSX, Space Invaders, then Pro, followed by Fast and Furious and Terminator 2. It's 22.5 inches for KI Pro. I have 23 inches here, so kind of lucked out on that one. Kind of the thing is, you lose space with the XLs. Always keep that in mind, because I didn't want this door scratching the side of T2 when I open and close. Look how close this comes. All right, we switched everything around. Here's how it's gonna look for a little bit. Not sure if Street Fighter 2 is on its way out, but it does look pretty good here. It's nice having something in this open spot now. Down the road, probably an ALP down here, but for the time being and shuffling around every time we get an Arcade 1-Up, it's nice having a spot to kind of temporarily stage something as I kind of decide, am I gonna sell it? Or when I get something else, then the next thing can come over here. So it's kind of nice. We will do a review on the fatigue mat, the stool, and of course, show the ultimate destination where we're gonna hang the tin sign. Here's everything out of the box. It was either wrapped in plastic or foam. Does look pretty good. I'm guessing that's for the swivel. I think it's gonna spin. Kind of a step up, and it might not be necessary for everybody. I plan on keeping this one just because I kind of want everything that came with this, just to kind of showcase, hey, you know, this is what I got with the Pro. Here's the hardware and the instructions. And just a quick look at the actual seat for the stool. It looks sharp. Taking it out of the plastic, I go, wow, you know, I didn't know if it was going to have Spinal on here or the KI logo. You do have the Arcade 1-Up logo here. 2022 Tastemakers, LLC, made in China, 1994, Microsoft Rare, Ltd. And the actual back to the stool. So this, again, this is the first time for me having this. So the reason we don't have the KI logo anywhere else, it's on the back of the seat, the back of the backrest, and then also you have that logo both sides, and maybe that's why, you know, picking these up secondhand or, you know, separately is about $169, $170, maybe $150, because you have, you know, a little bit more attention to detail, not just your standard Arcade 1-Up stool. And here is the finished product. Had a heck of a time assembling it. It's, you know, it's just a little bit more complex than your typical Arcade 1-Up stool. But I think the best part about this is it will swivel in a full circle, roughly about 30 inches high, and then on the back, looking at about, I would say just under 40 inches. So call it 39 and a half, 39 and 3/4, and then 30 inches for the actual seat. And me being 5'9", my feet are not touching the floor, so resting on here, just, I guess, typical any stool. I guess this is why, not only for, you know, the base to keep it from wobbling, but somewhere to put your feet, unless you're Shaq. And I think the most crucial part about buying KI is the fatigue mat, because Arcade 1-Up does not want us getting tired when we're playing Killer Instinct, when we're playing Battletoads. They gave us this mat, and we'll do this together. We'll open this up and really take a look at, you know, I think this is just meant for giving us extra minutes, dare I say, extra hour playing Killer Instinct. I'm going to say the first thing about this that I did when I unpacked it, it is no different than a mat you would put in your kitchen. I don't know about bathroom, but it's just kind of that, you know, that non-slip mat, something nice you'd put in front of the sink. I'm getting an idea here. You never know where this could end up. I don't know if that's going to sit too well, you know, but for me, it'd be pretty cool being in the kitchen. Unfortunately, if you did turn it something like this, I'm not going to do it, but I'm just saying, you know, the artwork is that way. So definitely meant to be put in front of a cab as you're standing in front of there playing. And it is soft. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of funny. I didn't know, you know, how this would really look, if it would be rubber, something like would be in your garage. But no, it's just that kind of, I don't know, vinyl. Something that just reminds me of being in your kitchen. And it's roughly 32 inches long by about 20 inches. I was kind of thinking 24, it looked a little skinny, but so 20 by 32. And the tin sign, I just removed that plastic right there. There is a little bit of cellophane protecting the artwork, and it looks like the best way to hang this would be screws, and I'll just have to find a spot to put this up. I do like the look of it. This is the first time I've ever gotten a tin sign with an arcade one up before. You know, the mat, usually, you know, you get a stool on some of them, but to get all this with KI, it still doesn't justify the price point, but I'm going to keep it all. I guess some people would sell it to kind of justify, you know, spending that kind of money, but at the end of the day, it's kind of a complete set. And it's such a big sign that I thought this open spot right here next to Simpsons, Street Fighter 2 Deluxe, and Big Blue would be a great spot. And I like the way it looks. Kind of lacking on hanging pictures in here, so it's a good start to put KI Pros up there. I always envisioned having XLs against this wall, so I put the 19-inch monitor in Terminator 2, in Fast and Furious. Now we have KI Pro with 19-inch. The iArcade has a 19-inch. The MVSX is sitting at 17. I'm not sure if this is going to stay here long term in this spot. You know, depending on, you know, if we get anything else, if we get another XL, it'll kind of take the spot. And the way that will fit is this is a little bit wider than your typical arcade one up. So I know I can fit one more XL in here if I so choose so. But we're going to have to probably live with Fast and Furious and T2. Not saying that I wanted to get rid of those, but, you know, I only have so much room here. And every time you go XL, you know, it's going to be just a little bit bigger than those deluxe cabinets. You got the fatigue mat right in front, KI Pro, and the stool. I want to thank everybody for watching. I'll see you guys next time.